times 2 plus 200. So that means that S of 2 equals negative 64 plus 128 plus 200. So S of 2, or the height of the ball after 2 seconds, is 128. 128 minus 64 plus 200 is 264. And are we in yards or feet? What does it say? We are in feet. So 264 feet. So at 2 seconds, the ball reaches its maximum, and the maximum is 264 feet. Part C. Find S of 0 and describe what it means. Now, our function is talking about a ball being thrown off a building. So here's my building again. Here's somebody throwing a ball off the building. Woo. So S of 0, that means when the time is 0, that's where the ball is. So we're talking about the initial height. And we know that the initial height of the ball should be the height of the building. And the building is 200 foot tall. But let's see if our equation actually works. Let's see if that's actually true. So let's find S of 0. So S of 0 equals negative 16 times 0 squared plus 64 times 0 plus 200. Well, 0 squared is 0 times negative 16 goes to 0. Plus 64 times 0 is 0. Plus 200. That means that our initial height is in fact 200 feet. That's where the ball is before it is thrown. S of 0 is asking you for the initial height. At time 0, when we start counting, where is the ball? And we start counting before we have thrown it, right there on top of the building. Part D, underline, highlight, star, underline, highlight, star, underline, highlight, star. You're going to see this one again. So we got the building, building sitting on the ground. Person throws the ball off the top of the building, and it wants to know how many seconds does it take the ball to hit the ground. Is it asking me for my vertex? No, it is not asking me for my vertex. This time, it's asking me when it hits the ground. When does it get to 0? So we take our equation and we set it equal to 0. Well, how do I solve a quadratic? I could try to factor. I'm going to tell you it's not factorable, which means our second choice, quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. I want you to pause the video because we've already started doing the quadratic, and I want you to try it yourself. Once you've got an answer, you can go ahead and come back to me after that, okay? Negative 64 plus or minus the square root of 64 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 200, all divided by 2 times negative 16, which gives me negative 64 plus or minus the square root of 64 times 64 gives me 4,096 plus, because a minus and a minus make a plus, 4 times 200 times 16 gives me 12,800, all divided by negative 32. Alright, I can scroll down here a little bit, clean it up. So I have negative 64 plus or minus the square root of that plus 4096 equals 16,896, all divided by negative 32. What do you think you have to do with this right here? You have to simplify it. I know it's an enormous number, but you can do it. I have full faith. So divided by 2, we get this big old number. Divided by 2. Divide 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 by 2. And the 33 breaks down to 3 and 11, not really helping me here. So a group of 2s, group of 2s, group of 2s, group of 2s. And then we have some left over there. So I have negative 64 plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Square roots of 66, all divided by negative 32. 16, negative 32, and 64 all have something in common, 16. And I'm going to divide through by this negative here. So this is going to be 4, because the minus and the minus are going to cancel, plus or minus, the 16 goes to 1, square root of 66, divided by 2. A plus or minus divided by a negative is still just plus or minus. Now this is my simplified radical. However, you need to check your decimals, because this doesn't mean anything to me. I still don't know when the ball hits the ground. So I'm going to look at 4 plus the square root of 66 divided by 2, and 4 minus the square root of 66 divided by 2. So I have, use my little calculator here. This calculator does not have a square root on it. Alright, so one of these will give you a positive answer, and one of them will give you a negative answer. The negative answer is not the one you want. The negative answer, there's no such thing as negative time. This is the correct answer, and you're welcome to leave it as a decimal. Check out my handwritten notes for the final answer. I don't have a square root button, I'm sorry. Alright, try your best. Good luck, you got this.